higher rated apps have more number of dangerous permissions. Now, answering question 2, it is regarding accessing the location. There are two. So when we talk about access of location, there are two possibilities. Like I said earlier, accessing the closed location, accessing the fine location, and depending on this, we have analyzed categories like which apps what are the statistics of the apps which access the exact location of the user, but not the closed location of the user, and how many such apps are there. And similarly, we found that 90% positive Pearson correlation between the rating of the app and its access of location. So since we have a Boolean vector in terms of whether the app accesses course or exact location, we took an OR of it, and so it's access of location, either course or fine, with respect to rating of the app. There is 90% correlation on that. And even here there is a rising trend, like we saw earlier, of intrusiveness which goes along with the popular apps. One more feature to notice is the free apps are more intrusive than the paid apps. Like if we can compare here, the white bars stand for the free apps and the black ones for the paid apps, and there are very few paid apps which can access the app's exact or the course location as compared to the free apps. So one thing to notice is the ratings are not reliable indicators for privacy risks which they pose. And we have noted some categories of the apps which access the exact location, and we found that most of them are lying in entertainment category, the tools category, books and reference, and the lifestyle category. One more feature which we found was that the category comics was accessing the user's exact location rather than the network-based location. This is somewhat doubtable because comics, say it's a comic reader, it needs to access the, say if it wants to display certain ads, it can access the user's network-based location and give the ads. But it was surprisingly found to be accessing the user's exact location. And these apps, these comics constitute 21%. 21% of the comic apps constitute the ones which access the location. So yeah, this was covered. So there are certain apps which access only the network-based locations. These majorly belong to the category games. So these games are like Angry Birds. Once you finish a level, they'll provide you with a video ad which can also eat up your data, which can also heat up the device while playing, and as well as access the location when giving the ads. So these are intrusive in all three ways. And so there are. We also found what other permissions are present for the apps which access the location. The other permissions. So we've analyzing that, we found that the dangerous permissions exist like clusters. So when an app is accessing a dangerous permission, it is also it was also found to access certain other dangerous permissions together. So when they are accessing the location, they are also found to access manage accounts, send SMS, net access, read and write contacts, and they can also make the direct phone calls. So this is a statistic of what apps are using the services that cost money. Like we saw in the motivation section, both the Talking Tom and the KIK Messenger were using services that cost money. So we found that there's a comparable level between the apps which access neither of the locations, but since that doesn't that is not the part of a problem, we only bother about accessing both the exact and the course location, and exact location alone and course location alone. It was found that there are more apps accessing both the locations than the ones which are accessing course location. Also, more paid apps were accessing the exact location, and more free apps were accessing the coast location. So this just gives us a statistic of the categories of the apps and how they are located, how they are accessing the locations. Network based, it was like shown earlier. These were accessing more comparatively more number of apps access more both the locations than just one location alone. Now we go to the third question, energy efficiency. So apps use GPS, camera, and certain sensors like gravity sensor, location sensor. Location sensor is included in the GPS, and a few other sensors. So
what's a gravity sensor?
I have no idea, but I have just read through the literature. And there are certain sensors like location sensor, environmental sensors, and gravity sensors. It's more device, internal working of the device.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So we found 80% correlation between the apps which have no sleep option and access hardware option. So we can say that 80% of the time, 80% of the possibilities, the apps have both the no sleep and access hardware option activated together. And some of the related permissions were found to those which access these permissions, the energy related. So those were modify USB and SD card content and the usual one, and change Wi-Fi state. So even here we found that paid apps are less consuming than the free apps, and free apps are it's more like the free apps have the treat it like a price to pay instead of paying money. Like they are kind of sacrificing their privacies and allowing intrusion in terms of their personal identifiable information, their location, the data, and some hardware tweaks as well. So in order to get the free app instead of paying money, whereas the paid apps have a notable advantage of having very less energy efficient.
So for those apps which prevent devices from sleeping, can we actually see that from the permissions and stuff?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Which option? What does it say?
No sleep option and access hardware.
Oh,
Yeah,
it actually says no sleep option.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and it can be modifiable manually though in the Google Play Store. We can control it. Also, there are certain
apps.
apps.
That if you click that, there will be actually sleep option. Or
No, there'll be, but it will affect the functionality of the app in general.
Wait, what do you mean modifiable in Google Play Store?
If we go to the permissions and the developer options, we can disable that permission if you want.
So if you disable that, what
Yeah,
happens?
yeah.
So that will go to sleep option?
That will go to sleep, but it can affect the functionality of the app as well. The app
I think you're saying something funny here, but let's continue. Let's get back to that.
Can you give one example of an app that does not allow sleeping? That's just from a design point of view, that is aggregating.
Like Angry Birds, maybe.
There are certain news apps which keep downloading all the night and don't tell us the results.
Like continuously?
Yeah, and they'll keep on updating the device, the information, and give instant news. So they keep updating all night. For example, there's a news channel called NDTV, and it has an app in the Android Play Store. It does collect news all night and keep giving alerts. So it doesn't, even if the device is asleep. So there are certain news and magazines category apps. So that's what that results comes a bit later in the slides. Yeah, the apps which use vibration are generally more battery draining than the other apps. And like I said, the apps in news and magazine category consume more energy. And yeah, even here the free apps are accessing more number of. The free apps are more intrusive than the paid apps as compared to null categories. So the next one, the last one is in data usage. So the app keeps communicating. This is like another tweaking to this no sleep option. So when they are receiving the news or any updates, they keep accessing the internet and they keep syncing with the websites in order to download and update articles, images, messages, offers, or some other prices or anything. So there are. I mean, user can stop those alerts manually, but by default they have this automatic access checked. So in case we don't check the permission screen or the app settings, it is bound that they're still accessing our data, and it's almost like we gave the permission to not unknowingly. So even here we found that the same trend, the popular apps are hogging on more data than the usual, than the free apps. And finally, this is the summary, and there's been some past work done on these permissions. So David Barrera and the other researchers visualized these permissions. They didn't have this big a permission set because they did their research in a few years ago. Now the permissions count has increased a bit. So they visualized it in using the self-organized maps, and felt Shia et al. They have identified the most requested permissions demanded by the apps and analyzed them. And Mario Frank and other researchers developed a system which warns the users where the permission requests do not match with the depiction of the app, and they've also found some trends in all such apps. And in conclusion, we have investigated the data set of permissions of about 16,000 apps on the Google Play Store, and we've analyzed the device intrusion properties for them, and in general the privacy intrusion. And it was found that the reputed apps are using, many reputed apps are using users' scores and exact location. And the free apps are demanding more permissions than the paid ones. And like doing all these, what can be the future work? This was all done in an Android platform. So since the Android is more open source and accepts submissions from everybody after going through the process, that doesn't mean that we should always. That doesn't mean that every app is safe and not intrusive. We have to inculcate more care in installing apps and increase more awareness in the Android community.
Yeah. Let's thank the speaker.